are live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me make sure my settings are good and I'm not rambling on and my mic is off. Okay, good. It's on. That works. All right. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy Sunday. As always, thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune into the show. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Today we're going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers. We've been focused on that case a lot recently, as most of you know. There's been some couple of developments. Obviously, Court TV put out a little special talking about, they featured Jennifer Coffindaffer. Shout out to her and what she's been doing. And she mentioned some very interesting things about the Texas Roadhouse footage. Meanwhile, while that's going on, I've been looking at stuff at a different angle and noticed something, in my opinion, is very huge that definitely needs to be talked about. So we'll combine both of those and we'll cover as much as we can. Also, today is Mod Appreciation. So, as if you guys know, the mods that are in here, the ones in the blue, they help, with chat, make sure no one's, out of line, and just kind of keeping the community great. And so, in support of that, because they don't get paid, they just come on, and do this for free. So, we would like to give back. So, any donations that come in, we're going to send those to the mods. We'll just pool that all together at the end. And then I'll situate it. Not everything's going to go to them because, unfortunately, YouTube takes a bit of it. But anyway, let's get going, guys. Real quick, as always, I like to feature somebody at the beginning of the show. So today's missing is... I'm trying to read it here. I'm going to butcher this. I know it. Anjane? And I'm sure I just butchered the heck out of her name. Anjane? I think it's Anjane Hunter. Miss Hunter, 16 years old, went missing on October 26th of this year out of Lansing, Illinois, maybe in the Chicago area. As a lot of you know, I just kind of pick out a random person that recently went missing. Sometimes it's more recent than others. I do take requests. You can email me if you have somebody, a friend, family member, know somebody went missing recently. You can email me, send me the details. I'd be happy to feature them in an upcoming
Sebastian Rogers.
live show.
He is autistic and has been missing
that started a little
since
bit quicker
February
than I wanted it to. So again, and if we reach our goal, and if we don't, we'll do it anyway. I have an ugly sweater. It's the only one I could find. I'm not going to show it all, but anyway, I have an ugly sweater I'll put on if we hit the goal, or if not, I'll do it anyway. But all right, real quick, before we get started, I just want to make sure that everything's running smooth. So I'm just going to play this video for a second. It's just a recap of him missing, and then we will get into all the highlights. All right,
to Sebastian Rogers. He is autistic and has been missing since February of 2024. His disappearance was, in my opinion, under suspicious circumstances, and just a few weeks later, a clip came out with mysterious lights moving in the background. I have studied and broken down this video along with more clips that were released to the public from the same surveillance camera. But a team consisting of a PI, Steve Fisher, and a few content creators went to reenact what has been dubbed the Mysterious Lights video. This was their results.
We'd recreate something and be like, no, I think that camera needs to turn a little bit this way. And we'd do it and recreate it again and be like, no, I think it needs to turn a little bit this way. And then we'd do it again. Hell, I think we went out there twice, 2 different nights, if I'm not mistaken. Because the first time we thought we had it and then realized that we were wrong.
This is a photo that Fisher released showing how they're positioned the camera. But from this angle, you can already tell 2 giant issues. One, they did not take the video from the same height of the surveillance camera.
Okay, so as most of you guys know, SF Investigates and part of a team went out there to reenact and get footage of the surrounding area of where Sebastian's neighborhood is at. Now, in that recreation, they completely messed it up. I've debunked this, but yet they still continue to say that this is, where the lights are at. And as a lot of you know, I have studied this footage forwards, backwards, sideways, you name it, under a different light. Not only me, but my community as well. And to go out and to see all the mistakes that they made. Again, I would congratulate them for at least trying, but the fact that they're still trying to push this narrative out really worries me. I don't like to get into, as a lot of you guys know, I like to stick with evidence, facts, what we can see, touch, feel. But when things aren't right, and it's blatantly obvious, I pointed it out. I've done so many debunking videos. I could continue to make more. And I do have a few more clips that I will show, but we will move on to the new stuff that I'm going to show you that he put out. But, again, for them to continue to claim this narrative, and if allegedly they were hired by a certain family, that really worries me that they are trying to control the narrative. And it's really like a magician. Hey, look over here. Don't watch my right hand. What's going on. And that's what that feels like. And I'm going to point some new stuff out. I guarantee I've got a banger here.
2, they did not use the same type
let me get
of
the
camera,
chat right this place for a minute.
just a cell phone. This creates a giant issue, as you now have not accurately portrayed the same angle of the original surveillance video perspective. Here is a screenshot with their recreation.
Cynthia, thank you so
In it,
much.
they
God
circle a
bless
couple
you.
of lights right here. They will claim these are the 2 stationary lights seen in the original.
And Jay,
Notice that their perspective
thank you so much for
is
coming.
much different from the one seen in the original. You can clearly see
Lisa, God bless
that it
you.
shows
Thank
so
you
much more of the side
Happy
yard
holidays.
of the house from the owner of the surveillance video. This is absolutely an inaccurate portrayal of the original and glaringly obvious.
Cajun Juju,
But
God
even
bless
after
you. Thank
pointing
you so
obvious
much.
mistakes in recent live shows, they still continue to double down, saying these
These
lights are
sweaters
coming
rock.
from the street above.
We got one.
Well, to me, there's nothing better than the ability to do that, right? Because I think everyone questions, could
Thank
it
you,
be
guys.
someone coming down there? Could it be? But the problem is the angle is just not right at all.
So, again, this is a video I put out recently. I've done a couple lives debunking and also a video as well if you'd like to check it out. This is kind of it right here. I'm going to play just towards the end. just want to play a few highlights from it, and you can go check it out. It's out there. It's a 12-minute video. I just want to point out a couple things, and then we're going to move into the thing that I discovered today.
Slightly behind the truck, parked in the driveway.
Now, Steve Fisher says that the field of view only goes up and does not, it literally apparently goes only just to the left of this home here and conveniently misses the Proudfoot's home, which I've clearly put out so many videos showing how untrue that is.
Which means that the field of view is much wider than what Shill Fisher claims in his post. Again, after clearly being debunked, he still claims this is false.
As you guys know, I don't like going after people. That is not what I like to do at all. I like to stay in my lane. I like to do my shows. We have such an amazing community. I don't want anybody going after any of these people. The only person I'm really pointing out is Steve Fisher, because the fact that he inserted himself and the fact that he's putting out so much blatant lies in this case. There's so many things that are wrong with that.
Also, the actual homeowner came out and even pointed to where the vehicle was believed to be parked on Stafford Court. During this, multiple people were there when this homeowner pointed this out.
Okay, I want to talk about this and what happened here. I talked to these people right after this happened. This happened, 4 or 5 months ago, kind of during the summertime. I'm not going to name who, of course, but I can tell you that you could say that they were on two sides of the spectrum, if that makes sense, right? So you have two people on two sides talking to this homeowner, and he literally came out and said, yeah, the car Because remember, the footage that we have from this guy's home is, I mentioned it 1,000 times, is a recording of a recording. Somebody took their phone and recorded. So you'll lose a lot of, details that would be in the actual original. But he and the family, whatever, could actually see, more than what we can see in the, obviously, recording of it recording. But he could tell that car, and he went out and said, yeah, it's pointed right there.
He clearly pointed just...
Which makes sense, because in a minute, I told you guys, we can see that a car, suspicious car, turns on its lights, and he illuminates a car, one of the vehicles in the driveway. The only way that could happen is this car's got to be sitting somewhere in this general vicinity, right?
Across from his mailbox, which clearly lines up with what is in the surveillance video. Now to point out this obvious lie that contradicts itself. Shill Fisher also points out that he knows the identity of both vehicles and the drivers, but the most blatant lie is that he claims that the two vehicles were captured on camera during the 3 a.m. hour near Sebastian neighborhood. But wait a minute, I thought that the footage was from 5 a.m., not 3 a.m.
Yeah, and that's what really... So according to Steve, he says, in his own quote, the lights video is between 5:09 and 5:10. And then, ironically, he mentions that he knows two drivers. We only knew of one. Well, we knew two, but there was supposed to be one at 3 a.m. and one at 5. But now which interesting. I don't know if this is some kind of slip up, and maybe there are two vehicles going on at 3 a.m. But he apparently knows these drivers and vehicles, but he's not going to tell.
Clearly, he knows we have been looking at a vehicle captured just moments after
law enforcement.
Lights move between the 2 yards. But now in this post, he is claiming two cars at 3 a.m. Remember, it is believed one car was at 3 a.m., and another, which was believed to be an Uber driver, was seen around 5 a.m.
Yes, he does.
So did Shill Fisher just reveal that there is two vehicles at 3 a.m.?
Done it so much.
Could both these...
So this is what we're going to talk about here soon. I promise you guys. For those that don't know what this photo is of, I promise you, it's huge. Like I said, I was working on so many things, debunking him, that, he put some of these things out, and I didn't really get a chance to study these, and then I was like, holy shnikes. This is huge. This is huge, because if you don't know what this photo is from, it's big.
Vehicles be involved in Sebastian's disappearance. If he knows the identity of these vehicles, then why hasn't TBI or LE
Thank you
released
so
a
much,
statement
Rebecca,
regarding this claim?
But this is not the trash trucks came through at 5 o'clock. So this video, the original lights video that Nick Barris originally put out, that's shot at like 5:09, 5:10 in the morning, not at 3 a.m. Because the trash trucks come right after that.
So he says, there he is, quoted multiple times, 5:09 to 5:10.
And keep in mind, the original video is much longer and shows the trash trucks. So, and keep in mind, the original video is much longer and shows the trash trucks. And keep in mind, the original video is much longer and shows the trash trucks. So,
if you just heard what he had said, you can clearly hear he says he has the original video showing the trash truck on Stafford Court from that homeowner's house. So if that's true, how come he can't put out a still image from that house with the timestamp? And the reason he can't is because he does not have this footage at all. For anybody that's wondering, he does not have this footage. I know he doesn't. And there's some other camera footage. But instead, he posts still video shots from... Okay. So as you guys know, I've been breaking this down, just tearing this angle down. We know it's completely off. They shot it from a low angle, straight ahead. I've mentioned it a bunch of times. But I just want to reiterate one more time as we line our objects up. All of this stuff that's above this area goes right out of view because we have our anchor, which is the AC unit. That thing does not move. It's attached to the house. I've got it about the same size. It could be a couple inches off. It don't matter because it's lined up. And look at everything that is out of view. I even moved it over. This is what I did earlier today. I even moved it over just to, as you can see, as I faded out and almost kind of match it up, because that doesn't move. That's an AC unit attached to the house. It does not move. And then look how far away when I bring their lights. I've got to go all the way over here. This is a new one that I haven't showed you guys. To show you where they claim these lights are from. Look how far away that is. Look, that is the AC unit. We know the garbage cans can move, but they usually keep it in the same area. But, we use what I call an anchor, which is something that cannot move, that is, attached, and that is the AC unit. We can see it, the box, and you can see how far away everything is. It's way off. Of course, I've debunked the hell out of it. Anyway, moving on. We're going to get to the good stuff here. But it just, it blows me away. They tried to put lines down, trying to say, oh, well, this is 2.6 millimeter, so it has this field of view, and try to say, oh, that it's got an 80-degree field of view, which I could tell you is inaccurate. Anyway, moving on, of course. So they're just showing the house above the neighborhood at 10. I want to say 1008, but I could be wrong on that one. So now, all right, just before we get to the new stuff, I just want to give you guys an idea of what's going on so you guys fully understand all of these videos, okay? I promise you, this is, my God, we got almost 2,000 people in here. Thank you so much. If you donated, thank you. I don't know why it doesn't say the goal's going up when people have clearly donated. Don't worry about the goal. Again, if you guys would like to donate, it'll go towards the mods. That's weird. Maybe it's counting on your side, but I don't know. Maybe it has to be teal super chats, maybe? I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, okay. So let me break this down for you guys so you guys fully understand this. All right. Because this is very important. All right. Let me just get it. Okay, right here, guys. Okay. And then we'll take a break and get to chat. But I want to explain all these videos to you because I promise you this is huge. To give you guys a full understanding of everything that's going on. So there's no confusion. Okay, so first, Nick Barris got a hold of the original footage that has the lights, the mysterious lights video. It has subject 1 and 2 and the floodlights stationary here. Now, originally he put out like I forgot to look, but he put out like a 10-second clip. Then, not long after that, he put 1 minute and 31 second clip out. Now, this one's huge because this one really shows the lights moving around. We have subject 1, right, which is kind of, again, it's tough to say what's going on. But they are moving between the 2 yards, in my opinion. We have subject 2 that kind of appears. Then I've kind of explained why I believe he disappears is because there is a ditch there and this person, and there's, some trees and stuff. And I want to say a gazebo or something like that. And so there's, some stuff there that could be blocking his light or this person's light. And then eventually this person comes back in. But this is very important. Now, what you see here, this light here, is part of the truck that's in the driveway of the security footage. I've shown that. You can clearly see this is the window. You can clearly see, we've got the trim of the white truck, right? This is very important. That means the road right here, Stafford Road, is kind of just hanging out right here, if you were turning it on. So if the garbage truck was driving by, you would see this giant truck be driving right through this area here, right? This is very important. Then, after that, I guess, the story goes is the original homeowner had the footage, sent it to somebody else, and then they're the ones that kind of leaked a couple of clips out. Now, they leaked a few more. They leaked a 19-second clip, which is really the tail end of the minute and 31-second clip of Nick Barris. So what it shows is subject 2. Now subject 1's gone. Subject 2 is now just going to be kind of traveling. You can see it here, and it is traveling. So this video clip doesn't show, what Nick Barris showed, which, was subject 2 starting way over here. It just kind of shows the tail end of the Nick Barris video. So that is subject 2. Then there is clip number 2 that's released. This is the one that has the car that we, have not been able to identify. Now, what's important to note is we can see before it starts, this one's 34 seconds. I got it 19, but I think I changed it, or I might have messed up right here because I was working really fast. You'll see the light. You can tell that this is basically a continuation of video 1 because subject 2 is now basically in that same area. Video 2 is 34 seconds. This is the one. So notice subject 2 now is kind of stopped. Very interesting. It stops when the car light turns on. Subject 2's there. Mysterious car that for some reason has its lights off. Where, if another car was coming, could come around the corner and slam into it. Or according to, Steve Fisher, this is taken at 5 a.m. or 5:09 where garbage truck is coming around the corner, yet garbage truck doesn't slam into it, doesn't mention a vehicle. Then we have video 3. And this is just video 2. Video 3 is now a continuation. I'm not sure, maybe a few seconds later after the car's either left or turned its lights back off. I do not know. It could be seconds. It could be a few minutes. Unfortunately, the quality is a little bit worse. I don't think they realized that it wasn't focused yet. But then what happens, and I'll explain what the actual homeowner said, but this is the one where you see now subject 2 running back. I mean, subject 2 goes pretty darn fast going back. And according to the homeowner, because obviously he can see the original, more stuff's lit up, we don't have all this terrible quality. We'd be able to see much more if we had the actual original video and not a recording of a recording. According to the homeowner, and he could be wrong, he says that it almost looks like he can tell the guy is jumping the ditch. That is his words. And that is during the same day that he pointed out where the vehicle was across from the mailbox. So I just wanted to kind of put all that together because I promise you this is all going to come full circle. Remember, this is really likely taken at 3 a.m., but Steve Fisher wants to tell you it's at 5 a.m., even though look how dark it is. Okay, now moving on. Now, just to kind of get it going a little bit faster, I'm going to skip some stuff that I did want to show you, but as you can see where video 1 ends and video 2 begins, look at the light and look at the light where video 2, which would be the car video, look how close it is to this stationary light. Now notice the angle is slightly different, so it looks a little more spaced apart. Obviously the camera's a little bit further out on this side, so we can tell that it's pretty much a continuation from video 1 to video 2 before that car light turns on. Okay, Continuing on. All right. Let me get to chat. Now we are going to get to that screenshot that he presented. And I'm going to show you where that's taken from. If you've seen my thumbnail, then you probably already guessed it. But I want to start, because they claim, and I believe them in some regards, that they did get footage from some homes, because clearly they've shown screenshots of it. And in my opinion, we need to start up a hashtag. If you guys remember Justice League and released the Snyder Cut, the Zack Snyder Cut of Justice League, I think we need to start something like that, where release the footage. Give it to me. I'll be happily. Sorry, my mic went out for a second there. Anyway, I'd be more than happy to examine all 60 hours. You guys know how detailed I am. I will break every pixel down. If it takes me 2 years, I will do it. Send me the footage. The footage is unbiased. It's, again. Okay. So, now we're going to get to the good stuff. All right, so I'm going to break this down for you guys on where the garbage truck is going. Actually, let me just quickly shout everybody out real quick, so then, because then I'll get behind. Haley, hello, Chris. Hope things are great. Much love and respect. Thank you so much, Haley, and thank you so much for your support. Alan, you're amazing. Happy holidays, Chris Mods in chat. Thank you so much. Paranormal fan, hey, Mob Crew, finally. I'm not at 6 months anymore. 10 months? That's awesome, Renee. God bless you. Connie, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Chris, I've always looked forward to your content. You're the best in the biz, hands down. Your tireless investigative work is unmatched. Keep rocking. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Connie, it says timer ended before goal reached. Is that what it said? I put it for an hour. Okay, well, we won't worry about that. Thank you for working hard. I pray little Sebastian will be found. I think the one thing that I'm coming to the conclusion is I think there is a good possibility this kid could be alive still, which drives me to go back to this case. And the more that I work, the more that I get more locals supporting me and feeding me, insight and everything, which is amazing. We have Slim's 10 becoming a member. Thank you so much. Cajun, test, does this count towards the goal? Yeah, I guess the goal's broken. That's okay. We probably crushed that already. But again, thank you so much. Sunset Rising, thank you so much for the membership. I'm sorry on the rush, but I want to get to this stuff. Julie, thank you, mods, for all you do. Have a Merry Christmas. Yes, mods are amazing. D. Marie, thank you so much for the $4.99. I apologize, I'm rushing through it. I promise you, every little donation means the world to me. Okay, now time for the reveal if you haven't figured it out already. We are going to break all this down. Okay. All right, so let's just break this down one last time. I know I've said it before. According to Steve Fisher, the lights video is from 5:09 to 5:10. Remember, he's saying that lights video is at 5:09 to 5:10. Okay, now we can see in the timer that says 50. Oops, let me move it over a little bit. It says 5:09 and 53 seconds. Well, you're running out of the 5:09 time frame. I would have just put 5:10 if you're going with that. Which I just don't, and I don't discount you on that. I just disagree with it being lined up with the mysterious video. Okay. So, remember, according to him, the lights video is at between 5:09 and 5:10. If that is correct, remember Nick's Barris video is 1 minute and 31 minutes long, right? We've just seen the trash truck, and I'll show a top-down view of where that trash truck is going. that trash truck is now going to be turning onto Stafford, which means in the Nick Barris video, which is 1:31, if that is from 5:09 to 5:10, even though by the time that trash truck is getting to Stafford, it's 5:10 now. And we've got a video that's 1:31 long. We should see, and since it's kind of zoomed in a little bit, we should see a big, giant, flashing garbage truck going by in the Nick Barris footage. Am I wrong? If it's at 5:10 or 5:09 to 5:10, there should be a giant garbage truck driving by. Yet I don't see a big giant garbage truck. I'd see a mysterious vehicle parked there, which I would be worried for if it was 5:09, because it's about to get slammed by a garbage truck, especially if it's sitting with its lights off. And then again, we pointed out, we've seen the skybox. We know this is, look how dark it is. This is not 5:10. This is 3 a.m. Okay, continuing on, because this is going to get to my point here. All right, so let's put this all together, because one of his screenshots is very important. So again, as I said before, here comes that trash truck. We just saw it coming down. For those that don't know, it was this camera view at 5:09 was on Killen, kind of up here. And so this would be the time. And as we can see, our Nick Barris video playing at allegedly 5:09 to 5:10. No trash truck coming. Again, because that's not taken at 5:09. Okay. So, now, he put out more screenshots of footage. This is the big one, guys. So, here is the order of all the screenshots that he put out. So, he put one out on, I believe, Killen, where it's going up the road. I'm sorry, here, let me back this up. So we got 5:01, right? This is when the trash truck come, just like the neighbor said, from like 5 to 5:30, these guys go down the neighborhood because of the school bus and everything. So we have this trash truck going up north on Killen, okay? Now, of course, it's going to take its time because, they're collecting the trash. They collect it on both sides of the street. So obviously it's going to take them time. Now, when they're done, obviously, now this is slowed down heavily, but we've seen it regular. It's flying down because now he's done. He's collected all the trash on Killen and Devon. So now his next stop is going to be Stafford Court. Thank you guys. Oh my God, we almost have 2,500 people in here. If you haven't already, hit that like button. You guys are awesome. The amount of support for this channel and just Sebastian alone is amazing. Amazing. All right, so now we know it's on Stafford, right, at 5:10. So he released another snapshot, right? This one right here at 5:12. Now, of course, when it goes on Stafford Court, now it's going to have to do the same thing, where now he's not going to be hauling butt because now he's got to collect the trash on Stafford. So he's going to be kind of taking his time, going up Stafford. But as we can see in this photo, and I'm going to blow it up for those that are on the phone, we can definitely see that the picture that is taken is going to be on the left side of the house because it's going up Stafford Court. It's at 5:12. That adds up. They're slowly going up, collecting the trash. Taken at 5:12. As we can see, it's on this side of the road. That is Stafford. which makes sense. He's going up north. Now we know that the Sebastian Rogers home is on the east side of the road, which would be to the right of the trash truck. Well, for those that haven't already figured it out, guess whose house that is? Oh, thank you, Barb. That's right. That is the house that is kind of kitty corner, but more or less across the street from the Proudfoot's home. And that was the trash truck going up North Stafford Street. That is the that is the garage lights to the Sebastian home. That means they have this footage. According to them, hours of footage. Hours. Including the most important hours between noon and 5. To me, probably 2 and 4 or 3 a.m. Would be where I would start. Boom, as some of them like to say. That is the Proudfoot's home. Now, I will show, just for anybody that doesn't believe it, as you can see, the only tree on this road that is this tall, you can see the branches sprouting out. There's 4 main ones, and I'll kind of zoom in. This is looking across from it's coming from a ring cam. This is, I believe, a ring cam footage. And, but yeah, you can clearly see the tree. You can see how tall this bad boy is. And I promise you, it's the only tree that is this tall on the neighborhood. And it lines up with the time frame of 5:12 and being on that side of the road. So we know it'd have to be on that side of the street. And on that side of the street, everything lines up. And I noticed at the bottom where he has the timestamp, you can actually tell that, and I know it's probably hard for you guys to see, but you can actually see the base of the pillar here, right here. I tried to flip it. That's why everything's backwards, because obviously it would be flipped. And then we can kind of see the cement wall here, which would be this. So that little bottom piece, for anybody that's wondering if seen this, that is where this is taken from. And you can see the doorbell ring cam right there. So once again, we'll zoom this in and then we'll look, and then I'll overlay the Proudfoots. But as you can see, as I zoom in here, I flipped it so you can see how the tree lines up. You got the skinny one, this one, you got the bigger kind of one that sprouts off. Basically 4 main branches, it's clear. And this thing is tall as heck. This is the home. I was going up all and down Stafford, and it's the only tree that's like that and is clearly, I don't know, 30 to 50 feet tall, somewhere in there. It's literally the only one. And we know that it'd have to be on this side of the road. And so there's not many homes to choose from to kind of figure this out. And then the porch as well, where he had the little screenshot with the timestamp, that was kind of also another dead giveaway, because I could see the base of the pillar in it. So with that, there's more to point out. Trust me, that's not just the only thing. So. Oh yeah. Yep, that's right, folks. This is the Proudfoot's home, which means they have hours of footage facing the front of the home. Hours. Well, according to them, but I'm pretty sure. And I'll line up some details for you as well, just for anybody that's still not convinced. But I promise you, the timing of the truck, and we would know it would have to be on the west side of the street. And then you just look for a tree that's got 4 big, branches coming out, and it's probably one of the tallest trees on that side of the road. It's not hard. Then when we kind of overlay, now the overlay is not going to look great. These lights here, and I'll explain where these lights are at, because it has to do with field of view and perspective. And we know that this camera is sitting way back there, and I'll show you an example of a couple things. And then we're going to study this photo real quick and point out some very interesting things. Because I see a lot of lights, and we're not talking about the garbage truck lights. I see a lot of lights, which concerns me, concerns the heck out of me. Again, you guys know how much I love attention to detail. So let me just explain. I know you guys are smart, but just for anybody that wants to try to deny this, let me just explain field of view. What happens when I zoom in? Okay, I can't see the houses on the left or the right, but when I back up, guess what? Now they get narrower. So, right? They're much shorter between. If I zoom in, they get wider and more spread apart. The reason I'm describing this is because the house that took the shot is going to be much further behind us because it's sitting on the house, which means these are now, according to its field of view, means those houses are even going to get closer together, right? Just basic science, logic and science. It's not hard. So this house, this light here, I just want to explain a few things. This light here is actually just coming from this light, from this home next door here. Now again, notice the lights aren't going to match up because obviously I don't have a shot from the doorstep, from the same angle. But as I said before, the more we back up, the more things are going to squish together, right? So this light here is actually this light coming up from this, I don't know if there's a bedroom or whatever. This light is actually coming from this home here. And these 2 lights are the garage lights over the Proudfoot's home. I just wanted to kind of explain that for anybody. Again, just kind of basic science, field of view, how things work. Thank you. I'm just very tenacious. That's all. I'm very tenacious. All right, so let's break down now that we've figured that out. So now we know that we're looking at the Proudfoot home. So let's look at some glaring obvious concerns here. So we know that there are garage lights that are very bright, even though it's 5 a.m., which means these lights, the more the sunlight comes out, the lights are going to start to get dimmer because the sunlight obviously is going to start to, blend that out. If it was to get darker, it would actually accentuate these lights. Just kind of how lighting works, right? So if it was, so this, even though this is 5:12 a.m. now, these lights, at about 3 a.m. would appear pretty bright and stand out. Now, with that said, if we're looking at the front of the home of Sebastian, right? If he came out the front door, well, he can either go left, right, or he can go towards the home. Well, we know that he likely didn't walk towards the home because it would have been caught on door cam. Contrast. There you go. Contrast. That's a better word. Thank you, Barb. Contrast. That's a much better word. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, you would lose and gain contrast depending on the sunlight. So, but if he headed right, this would be right from his house, but our field of view would be left. If he went left, it would likely, not saying 100%, but you would think there would be a decent possibility that you would see a shadow or a figure walking across if he went up Stafford, right? Not saying 100%, but with how bright those lights are, and considering this is 5:10 and not 3 a.m., and those lights would be a little bit brighter, it's almost like when scientists find new planets when they're looking at stars light years, billions of light years away. What do? They study the star and they look for two things. They'll notice a wobble, and that wobble is because the gravity of the planet that's circling it is causing it, because it's a tether thing. Anybody who's played tetherball or swing something around, it's the same thing. It's what the moon is doing. So it creates a wobble with the sun. The other thing they notice is that the light, when something's passing through, the light changes just a little bit. Obviously, when they're looking billions of light years away, the light changes a little bit. So if Sebastian were to walk across this and he was pretty close to his home, we should see some kind of disturbance in that light. Even if he's in all black, there should be some kind of little bit of disturbance in the light. Continuing on. Now, so before I show the next one, so let's just look at, oops, sorry guys. Sorry. So again, if he came out, and if he even came to the street, I'm sure they would have probably caught him on door cam. But if he were to sneak, look, because there's a little walkway right there, right? Remember, poor kid's barefoot, allegedly. If he walked under these lights, you would see a disturbance, possibly a shadow. You would definitely see something if he walked past this area to the left, past his garage. They have hours of footage. Hours. Do you know what I'd give to see that footage and break it down? I'd be happy to. I will break down every single pixel. If it takes me 50 years, I will do it to bring this kid home. But I will not put out a false narrative and claim that I've found vehicles and the drivers and blatantly lie and do half-assed jobs and then can't admit when they're wrong. Sorry. Moving on. Let's look to the right. There's another light right here. Now, I have not been able to figure out exactly where this is at. If anybody can figure this out, I would love to know. I only figured this out like 3 hours ago. So, God knows what else I can discover here if I could spend some more time. I'll have to talk to one of my sources. But whatever this light is very bright. It's not the, for God's sakes, it's not the damn garbage truck, because I know some people are going to say it's the garbage truck. We can see the end of the garbage truck right here. There's the taillights, okay? There is a light. So now we have a light on the left side. So if he goes one side out of the front of his home, there's a pretty good chance we would see something. Not saying 100%, but there's a good chance. Now, I'm not sure if this is part of the home. I'm still going to work with some things. I kind of think it is attached to the end of their home. It might even be their front door. It's tough to say. But whatever this light is, it is bright. I mean, look at it compared to the lights on the garage. It even illuminates the ground below it. Which tells me, and I will figure this out. God, you better believe it, I'll figure this out. If this is attached to his home, that means if now he decides to go the other way, well, it's the same thing. There's a good possibility. I mean, I doubt this kid is, I know Chris Proudfoot's, well, he's a ninja. I really find that very interesting. Of all the words, he uses ninja. Huge red flag to me. And of course, he's wearing all black to go with that. But if he's going to the right, there's a good chance, unless he goes in between. But I got to figure out where the house ends and what this light is. But I will figure it out. You better believe it. But if he goes to the right, we should see something. And it could be a floodlight. Whatever it is, it's a bright light. Yeah, I think you guys are right. It could be a floodlight, something like that. Could have been set. Not 100% sure. Now it's possible that it could be a sensor light and only goes off when somebody moves around it. Then we would have a discrepancy there. I will admit that. But if that's not the case, and I will find out, again, it is likely he did not go out that front door, or he definitely did not go out the garage door. We know that. So the three main exits, the garage doors, we know for sure. No, he ain't. He did not go through the garage doors that night. The front door. Plausible, possible, but I highly deny. I don't think so. Backyard. Well, the backyard is where we've been focused on, and there has been light movement in between these yards around this area, and I'm going to call it the common area because they hate that, and so now I'm just going to continue to call it the common area. But guess what? We see moving objects at 3 a.m. Moving around in the common area back here where Sebastian's home is at. Let me just get do I have an overlay? Yeah, right here. I'll get to chat. But again, the only area that we see movement. So let's just break down the logic. The one area that we do see movement at around 3 a.m. is in this area here, right? Because we know that they have the footage from the front, and if they would have seen him, God forbid, they would have released it and said, hey, look, here he is. He's going this way. He went north. He went south. He went one of those two directions. But they didn't put that out. So that tells me they couldn't see him. Which tells me he went out the backyard. Now, did he do it by himself or did he have help? Now, if there wasn't two flashing lights, or not flashing lights, but two lights moving around and a suspicious car parked here, I would say it's possible he ran off. But when you add it all together, what does that tell you, guys? So, well, we got more. But again, what I would give, I would love to start up a hashtag, release the footage, release the Rogers cut, whatever, get that trending. Because, God forbid, I would break this down, like I said. You guys know I would. To help bring this poor kid home. But something tells me he's probably not on there. Alright, guys. We are now going to move into the Texas Roadhouse. But I guarantee you, we're going to be coming back to this stuff here. And breaking some more stuff down. Like I said, I just discovered this today. So I got a lot of homework, and I got stuff that I got to do for my Patreons and members. I've been so busy with this. Cat Hall, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you so much, Cat, for your 2-month membership. You're amazing. Batgirl, love the name. Keep up the hard work, mob crew and mods. Bring Sebastian home. The key to this case is the video, in my opinion. Yes. Merry Christmas, mods and Chris from Sandy. Caring for all, becoming a member, supporting this channel. God bless you. As soon as I'm done finished reading this, we'll play Jennifer Kaufendeffer's highlight from Court TV. While we do that, I'll go put on the sweater for you guys because you guys earned it. One Sock Candy. That's an amazing name. Thank you so much for the $4.99. God bless you guys. Carol, thank you for all your hard work. Mods, yes, mods. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Carol. Is the Ring camera across the street hardwired, or is it motion activated? Activated, if that makes sense. No, it is. It's not motion activated, from what I understand. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure with how they've worded it. Actually, I'm almost, yeah. From here, yeah, I think it is not motion sensing. It's. Yeah, there is footage, but that is a great question, Girl Mom. That is a great question to put up there. That I do not think, I'm like 99% sure that is not a motion censored doorbell cam that records. Star Lambert, thank you so much. Scales of Justice, Merry Christmas, Chris and mods. That is so amazing. Thank you so much for that huge donation. You are awesome. Allegedly Innocent, love your work. Thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry that the gold thing is busted. That's so weird. Tinkerbell says, we are closing in if you can feel it, CP. I'll be damned. Again, I do want to start up. Release the footage. Alright, guys. Let me play this clip, and while I do that, I'm going to put on the ugly sweater for you guys. I'm sure I'm not going to win the award for ugly sweater. I just grabbed something on the way when I was at the store today. But for the mods and for you guys. But again, we got a couple more things to go over. So don't go anywhere. I'm just going to play this clip, and I'm going to put it on the ugly sweater.
This team, some retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Kaufendeffer. She also, by the way, has her own brand new YouTube show called Break the Case. It is awesome. Be sure to check it out. Jennifer, good morning to you. You were one of the first people to follow this case. I love following you on Twitter, and I remember seeing you were doing the missing person tweets, as you always do, and have continued to follow every single development. Looking at this, as it is hard to not have emotion in it because your heart just breaks for this family, this teenager. Where do you think the investigation is likely to go from here? Does it go anywhere?
Well, Julie, looking at this tape, and I've had it for so long, I just didn't release it until it was released by others. But essentially what I was looking for were the reactions of the mom, of course, Sebastian's actions. One of the things, a couple of things I noticed is his eating style, I thought, was very interesting. It was like he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm not saying he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm just saying the way he eats was very aggressive. He was just constantly eating. What I also noticed from the mother was her staring around, looking around, almost like she was on surveillance for someone. In addition, she was on her phone such a large percentage of the time, seemingly not really engaged with Sebastian. These were just a couple of takeaways. Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, Jen. And thank you for pointing that out, because as I'm watching it, and look, I'm not an investigator as you are, that was the first thing that jumped out was her head's going every which way. She's sitting there with her son, and like you said, she's not engaging him. And just to kind of back up and reiterate, to digest this more, in what you've seen other people looking at them too? Did it seem like they were trying to find each other? Like, is she...
Okay. All right. Got to pause it there because this is court TV and I don't want to get demonetized. But I wanted to add a little levity to... the situation and everything. We, of course, at the end of the day, we're going to look for Sebastian. We're going to fight hard. But, true crime takes a toll on all of us true crimers, and so we need a little levity. So I thought I would add it. I don't know if that was probably the right time, because this is very interesting stuff that she's talking about. And God bless Jennifer. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan, because when she first came out, it was kind of like she was just everywhere. And it was like, oh, here's Jennifer again. Here's Jennifer. But you know what? I enjoy her work, and I'm so happy where she stands, and I've seen her in my chat, and God bless you if by chance you're watching. God bless for everything you've done and for your service. Again, no ill will. And she has, in my opinion, she is on the right side, on the right team, even though there shouldn't be any teams. It should just be Team Sebastian, but unfortunately that's not the case. Yeah, there we go. Release the Rogers footage. Yep. I like that. We do. We need to get that going. Release the Rogers footage. Release it to me. The footage is unbiased. Again, I can't mention that enough. They have nothing to hide. I'll be more than happy to fight.
For me to release. But I think that there may be some questions now regarding somebody possibly looking at them, certainly not acting appropriate. And I'm sure that will be released soon. And when you...
Ooh, that is interesting. Released soon. Some people not fans. If you're not fans, if you can, just try to be nice. If you don't, if you could just try not to. Again, I know not everybody's a fan. Again, I was, because I felt like she was just kind of in the Guy Petito case, she just kind of popped up everywhere. But again, after seeing her, and especially with her channel, I like what she's done, and yeah, I have the utmost respect for her. So again, I felt the same way in the beginning, but I love what she's doing right now.
Put it in conjunction with how Katie Proudfoot is acting, it just adds up to something that doesn't make a lot of logical sense.
Sure. Jennifer, this has me wondering, did he even go back to the house? Do we have any confirmation that he ever made it back to the house? Because he's said to have, he's reported missing from the house, supposedly in the middle of the night, wanders off. And now I'm just wondering about that. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I sorry to stop that, but I meant to react to what she said earlier, that more footage could be coming out soon, which is amazing because, what is it? Is it from inside or outside? And now I'm going to be honest. I'm still kind of wondering about the green hoodie lady. That whole thing does not make sense. I mean, what in the hell is she doing standing there for 2 minutes by Katie's car? Again, the night before he goes missing. Again, if this was any other night or whatever, this was, weeks before or after, whatever, like on the night just before he goes missing, you have this weird interaction. I mean, there's these little breadcrumbs. You have the Mysterious Lights video, which, clearly is not at 5 a.m. And is at 3 a.m. All these little breadcrumbs that say there's something fishy going on. And then the people that were, kind of aligned with the Proudfoots and possibly even, possibly hired, now want to keep pushing this false narrative to say, hey, look over here, but, don't look over here. Literally, figuratively, field of view.
Well, I think, unfortunately, we're so reliant on what Katie Proudfoot has to say. She's the last person to see him. She's the only one with him. She's the one that makes the report. We're so reliant on that. And I've also found it very interesting, that she works for a video recording company and meaning, home security type company. And yet we have no home security footage, at least that we know of.
Yeah, we do. Apparently to SF Investigates, we have the whole front house of it. And I'm pretty sure if he's wandering off, they would have, hey, look, there he is wandering off. But they haven't showed that. And we know that those garage lights, especially if he went north, I would say there's like 80% chance he did not go north up Stafford. Possibility he went south, but then I don't know how he would be captured on the other camera. That's why I think it's very interesting that you got a bunch of stuff going on in the common area where there's not much lighting at all. Yeah.
Of Sebastian Rogers coming, going, there's, very little, let me say. And I've always found that very much to be an oxymoron, Julie.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
And we know that Sebastian had special needs. We know that he was living with autism and needed some extra care in the home. A great point you just made, Jennifer. Perhaps it would be helpful even to have more eyes on him throughout more times of the day if he's not in your direct line of sight. So do you know if they even had any video cameras established in the home at all?
No.
I think there were video cameras established outside the home. As far as inside the home, I have not read or heard any legitimate, data.
No, the mother only works for, Brinks, or head works for Brinks. You would think that they'd get like some kind of discount, at the very least to set up a home system.
Regarding that. But again, this just makes little sense to me regarding the fact that he had autism. I understand he wasn't a wanderer per se, but this is something that persists with people that are on the spectrum. We see it every week, somebody leaving their home and sadly being found in a body of water. And so if you have those utilities available to you, why wouldn't you utilize them?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Great points from you as always.
It sound is a little odder than it may be true. So maybe it's
Elizabeth. Oh, it's taking a minute. If you donated through PayPal, thank you so much. I think Elizabeth. My PayPal's acting weird. Yeah. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for donating through PayPal. If you do PayPal or Venmo, if you could let my mods know, because sometimes I get them after the show. It just all kind of depends. My service is kind of spotty here.
instead of getting like that with him, because he may not know what you're referring to. Because
Yes, he does.
But it's for Sebastian, right?
I'm not up here to have an issue with you, Chris. I just sat here and said, I don't think you have anything to do with the disappearance of your stepson.
So I brought this up yesterday. There was a podcast, Elevated Truth, that Chris Proudfoot came on, of course, trying to, his usual thing, it's the same old thing that, I'll answer anything you guys ask, and very defensive, typical Chris Proudfoot BS.
I don't know. Hold on. I don't know
That's
how
the
much you
problem.
said.
Because you all come out and say different things, and you all have your little.
But I wonder why. Why is Chris Proudfoot out here speaking for Sebastian when he is supposed to be in Memphis, Tennessee? Katie Proudfoot's the one that was last with Sebastian Rogers. She's the one that should be out there, speaking with media, going on shows. It's not like she has to, but, that's what we've seen with moms that are driven to find their children. Not to say that, every case is going to be the same, but just what I've seen in the few cases I've worked in, the mothers I've worked with will go through hell and back and do anything. They will go on shows that have talked crap about them just to get their name out there. It don't make sense to me. By the way, this is a woman's sweater, if you haven't noticed yet. So I literally got it. It was, as I was going out, I knew I wanted to get an ugly sweater. They didn't have many. And then there was one in the women's section that looked great. And so, but it's a little short. I had to get like an extra large. I kind of got a crop top going on. So anyway, it's all about the holidays. Again, a little bit of levity. I know we're talking about something very serious. And you guys know that I truly take this case very seriously. Obviously, I have spent, God knows how much time looking at this. Like, I will sit there and pause this and stare at this pixels for hours. Maybe not, this for hours, but I will study this footage for hours. And I've done it for months. Different angles, different views. And then took in what you guys have sent me. I've tried to think of ways to try to measure out this car. What are we looking at? What is this little thing, I've done so much to try to, figure this out.
It is what it is.
But anyway, so very interesting with Court TV and Jennifer. Basically, the gist of it is that she says that in the footage where they're eating, that when Katie's looking around, that and I'm not sure. Let me know in chat if maybe she kind of specified, so I couldn't tell. She kind of made it sound like when it was in Texas Roadhouse, someone was watching them. That's what I was under the impression. I could be wrong on that one. And maybe it's outside, but very curious to know who is watching them while they eat. Let's see, do I have the footage? Of course, I was dissecting the footage from... One second, guys. We'll go a little bit longer here and finish up. I'm trying to find the one where I tried to put everything in chronological order. That's not it. Texas Roadhouse. Oh, geez, where? Apologies. Roadhouse 2. Roadhouse 1. Work. Roadhouse, where are you? As you can see, I need it. Oh, here we go. Okay. I think this is the correct order, but anyway, so yeah, she's kind of, let me read chat and let me know, so what you guys kind of took away from that. But it sounded like inside the restaurant, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's outside. Yeah, who's got 4 or 5 CPS reports related to Sebastian speaking about him. Right. Yep, exactly. Guilty of Mob, I love your streams. Best info in the case comes from Fist Bump. Thank you so much. Again. Well, Tinkerbell, now this is something I don't say lightly, or I don't know if lightly is the right word. Something I don't ever say, and I don't think I've ever said, but this will probably be a time, at least for FBI, that there's enough red flags that I have seen. And of course, I've told you guys there's a few things that unfortunately I haven't been able to share because, when you have sources, they're going to give you stuff that you can share with the public. And then there's going to be some stuff that, you're not going to be able to share. That's just part of having sources. But combining all of that stuff with the lights and stuff that SF has brought out that has allowed me to, because like I said, he's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. Now that we have the Sebastian Rogers home there, there's stuff that I'm going to put a case together, and I will send to the TBI, FBI, whoever, and just some things that I'm putting together. And then I'll probably put that out for my Patreons to kind of show you all this stuff. Well, I'll have to redact a few things, but because... And I'm sure probably 99% of what I'm going to probably show them, they may already know, or 90%. But hopefully there's something in there that could help. I hope. Again. But the public, we've seen it. With the United Healthcare shooter, we've seen how the public can be your greatest source, especially when there's footage. And we know that there's tons of footage in this case, especially thanks to SF Investigates. We know that there's footage that allegedly literally is pointing at the house. So what could we might see, that they may have missed? Again, there's enough lighting around this house on both sides of the house that we should, if he came out the front door, we should, there's a good chance we would see something. Not saying it's 100%, but there should be a good chance we would see something. So, does anybody know, did Katie Proudfoot ever say whether the back door was locked or not? I know the front door has its automatic lock. So, if he goes out, it has an automatic lock. Does anybody in chat know if the back door, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me pull it up real quick. Because this would be huge, because then I would literally freak out if that does not have an automatic lock to it. Oh, did I not put it in here? Hold on 1 second. Oh, shoot. Did I not? Anybody know? All doors were locked. Does anybody know for a fact? I know the front door has the lock mechanism. Does anybody know if they have it on the back door as well? Or is it just a normal lock? Good to see you, Smileys. Thank you for the interviews you did with the Proud Feats. That's some amazing content that it's always nice to go back to and look at what they said. Because if not, is it just a key lock? It's not an automatic lock? Back door required a key. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I need to reach out to FBI and TBI, especially FBI. Does anybody know where I can get that source? Did they say that in a video? If anybody can email me that, where I can find if they said that, or where I can find that. Because, again, as I explained, one last time before we finish, as I explained, this screenshot that SF Investigates released is at the pointing at the Proudfoot home. This is the Proudfoot home. We know that he didn't go out the garage. We have three main, basically, entrance exits. We have the garage doors. We know he couldn't go out those. We would have seen him on that door cam. We have a light over here, which I still got to figure out what that light is. That's a very important light source. But if he didn't go out that front door, how would he be able to go out the back door without locking it because he didn't have a key? Which means he did not leave his home on his own. This is huge, guys. This is huge. Sorry, guys. I'm just processing this. Wow. If you can, let me know. Because, yeah, I've got to send some stuff to the FBI. Yeah. All right, guys. Let me get to the rest of what's going on. Let me just play this while I'm doing this. Cat in a Hat, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. God bless you. You win, Chris. Thank you so much, Haley. Kindly, thank you. You are amazing. You guys are awesome. Positive Hope, yes. Hashtag release the footage. We need it. We need it. I'll be more than happy to break that down. Occam's Razor tells us what happened to that boy exactly. Occam's Razor beats it out every time. Thank you, Micro Kimmy. Amber's Nest, thank you so much for the $4 super chat. God bless you guys. By chance, if you donated and I missed it, thank you to anybody that did PayPal, Elizabeth, anybody else if I missed it. But Nancy Grace. Okay. And I think you're right. I think you're right on that one. Because Nancy Grace does grill them pretty good. Okay, that's huge, guys. That's huge. I've got to process this here. But thank you so much, and as always, thank you to my wonderful mods who do such an amazing job. D-Dez, Jennifer, Jocelyn, Copper Horse, Sensei. God bless you guys. You guys are amazing. We may need to pick up maybe an extra mod. We'll have to see. Cali Girl, thank you so much for becoming a member. God bless you. Yeah, again, Smiley Worlds, thank you so much for those interviews. Man, that was amazing that you were able to get them on. That is so awesome. Again, that is footage that is, again, because there's very little interviews that we can go back and say, you know, here's what they said here compared to what they said here. So, huge shout out to you. Thank you so much. But yeah, let's get that going. Release the footage. Hashtag SF Investigates and release the footage. We need it. Someone has a video of the floodlights of PF's house. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been talking about, but I don't know, maybe you're kind of mentioned something more specific. If you can, email me, let me know. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So we've been going on for an hour and a half. Again, thank you so much. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I remember that. The couch was in the front of the door. Yeah. I'm worried about the locks on the door because if that back door is not just a automatic lock like the front door is, that means he'd have to have a key to lock that. We know he didn't have that, according to them, which means that's huge. That is huge. All right, guys. I'll do a pet video. Oh, here. One more time. I'll just for you guys. Yeah. Oh, that's crop top. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's a woman's sweater by the way. All right. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays. Thank you, mods. Thank you to my members. Thank you to my Patreons. I can't see shit, but God bless you guys. And we'll see you hopefully Monday. Patreons, I promise I'll get some stuff out to you. I'm watching you. All right. And let's bring Sebastian home for the holidays. Let's keep pushing these guys. They're going to slip up. When I push SF Investigates, he slipped up. He started putting stuff out. He tripped himself. I almost kind of wish I didn't go so hard on him just because he might have put more stuff out. But since I went so hard, I think I kind of screwed that up. But you know what? I can't stand when people are going to blatantly lie in a case with an autistic child like this. I won't stand for it at all. So with that said, we're going to do a pet outro to calm down, add some levity to the end of the show. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We'll see you guys likely tomorrow, same time.